Why is it that some people reject your advice instantly? See, you have sometimes brilliant ideas, and then you tell somebody, and you feel like they're like, la, 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 and they're not hearing you. And even though you're trying to be nice, you're trying to show them all the reasons why your idea should be good, they're still not hearing you. So these people have a different metaprogram. So the metaprograms are the systems in our brain that are controlling everything else. There's over 60 metaprograms that will, in combination, make up our personality, our motivation, and our work style patterns as well, or productivity pattern. I work with about 16 of them, and those are called the lab profiles. So the lab profiles have been created by Roger Bailey and made internationally well known by Shelley Rose Charvet. Now, there is motivation pattern and productivity pattern, and this reason why people will reject your idea is because of one of their motivation pattern, the source. People either have an internal source or an external source. People that are internal are these people that they know inside themselves. They don't need you to tell them what to do. They know. If you ask them, how do you know you've done a good job? They'll say, I know. And then there's the external source. The external source, they will need feedback to make up their decision. They will need to look at some studies, at what is everybody else saying, because they will need the external validation in order to be motivated to make up their mind. And these external people are the ones that you could tell them, hey, you should do this, you should do that. So I'll give you a few examples. Internal source people, they decide internally. So they trust their own judgment first. So don't tell them, oh, you should do this. You should absolutely do that. Instead, say, here's a few options for you to consider. Because the internal people will not necessarily not ask others' opinion, but they just want to collect data and collect facts, but they will decide in the end. So they like you to give them ideas, but they're the one that will decide. So you say, here's a few options for you to consider, and you'll know what makes the most sense for your situation. Or if you talk to a external person, you could just say, oh, everybody's using this, everybody's doing this. They'll be like, oh, okay, well then that means I should do that, because now they have their external validation. Or I need to talk to my wife first, I need to talk to my boss, I need to talk to my colleague, right? So if they have an external source, they will need external validation. But don't say everybody's using this to the internal people, because they'll be like, well, I'll decide if I want to use that. I don't care if everybody's doing this. So instead, you can say, you can decide whether this approach fits the way that you like to operate. A lot of people are using this, but you will decide if that's the right thing for you. Or I think it's a really good idea, but I don't know if it's a good idea for you. So you'll decide if that works for you, right? In the external people, you could say, trust me, that's a really good strategy. That's the best strategy. Trust me. Well, the internal people, they don't trust you. And you have to imply that at the beginning of a relationship, everybody is internal to you, even though they might have the external source for most of their decision. But when it's a stranger, when they don't know you, when they don't trust you, they are internal to you. So that means they don't care what you think. They don't care what you say. So to say, trust me, they're like, why should I trust you? You could say, take a look at it and see if it aligns with what you believe is best, right? For example, like in a workplace, executive position. So there's a senior leader that tries to present a new process to a department head who is highly internal. Okay, so the more the leader pushes with this is the right way, the more resistance appears, right? Or if you've had teenagers, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if the leader instead shifts to, okay, review it and then decide what would work best for your team, then the department head suddenly becomes far more open, right? Now, for the external source person, they look for feedback, for guidance, for validation, for experts' opinion. So with them, you want to give them stronger direction. And you'll say, well, you don't tell them you'll know what is best. You'll tell them, based on what I've seen, I strongly recommend this direction, instead of, well, you decide. So depending on your relationship, when somebody is seeking advice because they value you, they trust you, you are definitely the person that they will look up to and trust. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your colleague, maybe you're their boss and you're the person that should tell them. Maybe your child is actually asking for your advice. Then you don't tell them, well, you'll decide. You could tell them, well, the leadership team agrees that this would be the next step. right? Instead of, well, you'll see what feels right, you say, well, top performers in the industry are already doing this successfully. So this will work with an external person. So let's say there's a new manager, they are overwhelmed, they're not sure, they are potentially external to you, so they want to know your opinion. So now they're looking for reassurance or direction. So if you say, well, only you can decide, they will feel abandoned. But if you say, here's what I recommend and why, they often feel relieved and they feel supported, right? So one powerful insight is that the mistakes that most people do is assuming that everyone wants to be talked the same way. So we sometimes have our preference on how we say things, and we forget to gauge who's in front of us. There's no right or wrong. People that are internal could be perceived as highly confident or borderline arrogant, but the idea is that they know inside themselves, in different contexts, what they should be doing. So by using suggestion language is when you will get them more to listen to your suggestion, and you can still tell them, this is what people are doing, this is what I think would be true, but you'll decide what works best for you. You think about it, and then you take the information, I'll give you the options, and then in the end, you'll decide. So there's no right or wrong. Some people are external and internal in different contexts. So context really matters. So it depends on who you are with and where you are and in which context. So depending on context, people are always sometimes external, sometimes internal. So now you know the difference, and then you can use the suggestion language to get someone to stop turning you off every single time you tell them something.